248-539-9797. That's the number to call, number to text. Your Lions pick you're good with, Lions pick you're fine with, and the one you'll never watch the Lions again if they make this pick. Some good ticket text on this, and it is, I want Tibbs. I'll be fine with Jordan Davis. Rip my hair out for Malik Willis. Tom in Livonia. I like that. That's a good ticket text to start off with, because while that's not my one that I will never watch the franchise again, I will rip my hair out if they take Malik Willis.
Yeah, that was actually, I'll just spoil it now because that ticket texter went ahead and did it. I mean, Malik Willis and even Kenny Pickett, both those quarterbacks, I don't want to quarterback this draft. This is not a quarterback deep draft. And Jared Goff, as much hate as he got the last few games of the season, he actually performed pretty well. He's got a couple more years on his contract. This is a rebuilding team. You have, 2 more first-round picks next year. Granted, it's going to be probably another late first-round pick because the Rams are great. But, you got another year to figure out your quarterback situation. Use this year to just fill out the team around it. You do not need an underwhelming quarterback draft pick at 2 overall, or was it 32 overall?
Right, it's not a project pick. And I think and I'm going way back in the archives here, but I think people use the term project a lot in an NBA sense, like, oh, he's a big, tall guy that can shoot, like we can work on the rest. I don't want a pick that you have to work on something for the rest. Yeah. I want a complete slam dunk, day one starter.
Bingo.
Yes. How many draft cliches can we use? A guy that's going to make an impact from day one. I want somebody that we can hang our hat on and not have to hope and pray and cross our little fingers that everything goes right and it actually works out.
And you know who that guy is?
Drum roll.
Aiden Hutchinson. and that goes back to the safe pick situation.
Well, of course,
that's a position of need.
Yeah.
And that is a guy who, by all accounts, is you see Thibodeau dropping in mock drafts everywhere. There could be smoke. It could not be smoke. You hear about Campbell not liking him. You do not hear that with Aiden Hutchinson out of anyone. The worst thing you heard about Hutchinson is, his wingspan's a little bit tinier than, and everyone was freaking out. Aiden Hutchinson is a beast. And I went to Oakland University, so there's no University of Michigan bias here. He is an absolute freak of nature. The Lions need this guy.
Well,
and he's a
they
safe
need this
pick
guy
to make at 2 if he's there.
I was just going to say.
That's the caveat.
Right. And I'm going to pat myself on the back here a little bit. Great job, Jake. You're awesome. But did a little bit of homework today. And you know what some of that homework was? I was looking up who Jacksonville will realistically look at taking. And, it's not like it's this secret. You can bet on things that you think is going to happen in the sports world. Live draft odds, that type of thing. You might have heard an advertisement once or twice on this station. But the only player with minus odds to go number 1 overall is Aiden Hutchinson. So I'm not saying it's a slam dunk, but the odds makers, they're in it for a reason. They're there to make money. So they're going to that's the best way, in my opinion, to project what you think's going to happen. Look at the odds. Look at who's favored to be taken number 1 overall, and it's Aiden Hutchinson at minus 200. He's the only one with minus odds. So because of that, and of course, I'm not going to disagree with you. Yeah, I'd love the Lions to take Aiden Hutchinson at 2 overall. But in this setting, I don't think he's going to be there. So let's just, for this exercise, we love a good exercise. We love it. Let's assume Aiden Hutchinson is off the board and he's been taken by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Congrats, Aiden Hutchinson, making us proud, from Plymouth, Michigan to beautiful Jacksonville, Florida. Now, at number 2 overall, here's the pick that I want the Lions to go with. And I'm not, all right, I'm making too big of a deal. I want them to take Kayvon Thibodeau. Whoa, there we go.
You're earth-shattering with that one.
Everybody write that down. I want them to take, arguably, we'll say the second best edge rusher. I love that term, too. Not a defensive end. He's an edge rusher. I want somebody that can sack the GD quarterback. I want somebody that can impact the game, because how many times do we talk about this? It's a passing league. How do you slow down a good offense? You put pressure on the quarterback, and you make their life miserable. And look at the history over the last couple of drafts. Look at guys that have had success early in their careers, like the Chase Youngs, the Bosa brothers, whoever it may be. And I want the Lions to have that. And I believe Kayvon Thibodeau can be that guy. So that's my pick. That's my pick I'm clapping for. Kayvon Thibodeau. I don't care about the other stuff. We're going to get into that more, but that's the pick I want. Who is your pick for the Lions to take?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, if Aiden Hutchinson's not there, this is like a no-duh statement. But I agree with you. Like Kayvon Thibodeau is the de facto guy because, again, it's a same argument I made with Hutchinson. It is the position of need. One of many positions of need. But this guy, he's another guy who's just a freak of nature. But then that argument comes in, Jake. Like red flags, smoke. Red flags not. And I know you want to save that for the next segment, but that's going to have a huge impact. Like in these mock drafts, he is sliding on boards, and it goes to show that like are what general managers seeing different from what all the beat writers see when they make these mock drafts. Like because the GMs and the coaches and the players, they got to deal with the guy. The journalists and the beat writers make these mock drafts. They just see what they do on the field, and they're like, oh, this guy's fantastic. So does it fit the culture? That's why he's like my kind of like. I'd be okay with he took him, but like I'm starting to get a little bit turned off by all the things I'm hearing. But that's probably also what they want,
right?
To turn you off of him because he's actually a freak.
Yeah, is Dan Campbell playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers? Who knows? But all right, so then for the purpose of this exercise that's going swimmingly, I might add, so well.
Pat yourself on the back more.
Yeah, thank you. Is he your vanilla pick that you're good with? Or is he the guy, pound the table, Brian Fisher, the general manager of the Detroit Lions, wants Kayvon Thibodeau in a Lions uniform next year?
Let's go, assuming that Hutchinson's off the board.
Of course,
then Thibodeau is my slam the table.
Okay.
My meh
who's your meh?
My meh is literally anyone else that goes in the first round as long as it's not a quarterback. Because this team has so many, or offensive line, I will say that as well. But like this team is so replete. With
right. You can't. It's one of those. It's number 2 overall pick. We've got a ton of needs. Don't screw it up and take a quarterback. That's fair.
Yeah, exactly.
However, it does not fall in line with my pull my hair out and never watch this franchise ever again. Because I will tell you this: my man pick that I'd be fine with, Trayvon Walker out of Georgia.
That's a good one.
It's a safe pick. It's vanilla. It kind of, if you want to say it fits what the Lions organization has done, similar to the Penei Sewell pick, I would argue. That was a safe pick. Nobody wanted, some people wanted to take a chance on Justin Fields or a flashy player. There was depth at the wide receiver position in that draft, and there were some guys that you could have maybe made a bigger splash with than Penei Sewell, but that was the safe pick, and the Lions went with that. And that kind of, I don't want to say it fits the culture because the Lions have reached on plenty of players and it hasn't worked out, but it at least fits this regime in wanting to, build a strong foundation, have a culture. And Trayvon Walker obviously is a guy that's won, if you believe in that being important. The Georgia Bulldogs, the national champions, he was a big part of that defense, but you could also argue he doesn't have the stats there. Why are his sack numbers not as high as some of the other guys, and so on and so forth. So that's my meh pick. That's my vanilla pick. If he's there at 2, then you want to convince me that the Thibodeau smoke or the red flags with Thibodeau are too much to bear, then sure, take Trayvon Walker. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that just takes you back to, it goes back to your core argument from last segment, though. Is the safe pick better than the, off the board pick? You've seen general managers in different leagues reach on guys and get regaled as a genius, and then you've seen the opposite in other leagues. And obviously, league to league, it's always different. But, Steve Eisman took Moritz Seider at 6th overall, and people thought that was a dumb move at the time, and now he's going to win Rookie of the Year, and people regard him as a genius. He is a genius, but that's a different topic. But then you have, you're taking Jeff Okudah at 3rd overall. Now, that was a reach. People knew that, and it didn't work out or hasn't worked out thus far. So would you regard Trayvon Walker at 2 overall as a reach? And do you think that it's going to pay off enough that you're going to consider Brad Holmes a genius in a couple of years?
Brian Fisher, you said something that I know radio is an audio-only medium, so our loyal listeners tuning in from across the globe using the Audacy app or listening online, wherever you may be, or in your vehicles, can't see when you said the word Jeff Okudah, my face broke out and the hair on the back of my neck stood up and I became uncomfortable because hearing that name makes me so angry and so irate to the point where if the Lions go ahead and pick another cornerback with the number 2 overall pick, and I know he's a local guy, and this is not even a knock on the guy. He's probably going to be a great professional football player. But out of Cincinnati, Sauce Gardner, if his name is called for the Detroit Lions, it's not even a knock on him. Please don't take it as that. It's because this franchise swung and missed on a cornerback earlier, in Jeffrey Okudah and perhaps wasted an opportunity to continue to build this franchise that we're looking for. If they take Sauce Gardner, I'm never watching a Lions game again. Here, write it down. Dirty D, our producer tonight. If the Lions take Sauce Gardner with the number 2 overall pick, again, fine player, probably going to be an impact player in the league, but he's not Jalen Ramsey. I just will not be able to stomach the thought of a cornerback at number 2 overall. They don't impact the game.
No, you don't need him at 2 overall. I mean, I have seen mock drafts of him going high, 10, top 10 pick, but at 2 overall, absolutely not. He is a really good talent, though. Again, it goes back to that whole at that where you're drafting, you don't need a guy of that position right then and there. You got to address your most apparent needs first, and that's first and foremost defensive ends, edge rushers, which is something that they need. And we've listed off the obvious Tua, and then of course Trayvon Walker in there. Like, honestly, any of those 3 guys are going to fit this team at least positionally and make them instantly better. Goes back to their, instant impact player. And that's just that's the route I want them to go. And it's a no-duh route, but that's how you build championships. You build championships on making no-duh safe plays a lot of the time.
And I'm going to put on, I know we're up against it here, I'm going to put on my psychologist hat for just 1 second, which is also kind of scary, but Lord knows I've been to enough therapy, and a lot of times you blame others for making yourself like this. I blame the Lions for making me like this, making me afraid to ever pick a cornerback with a number 2 overall pick, and Jeffrey Okudah is number 3, but you get the point. I blame the Lions for making me like this. Sauce Gardner, I know you're tuning in. I know you're listening. It's not you. It's me. The Lions made me this way. I'm sure you're going to go on and have a tremendous professional career, but if the Lions pick you at number 2 overall, I'm never watching another Lions football game.
Okay, but Jake, this is, and I hear this all the time on the airwaves here, and I understand there's literal decades of frustration built up. I mean, they haven't won a championship since the 50s, and that was before the Super Bowl was created, and I get it. But this is a new regime, new general manager, new head coach, new coaching staff, whole new team with a brand new quarterback. So is it fair to have, Holmes and Campbell bear the sins of their predecessors at this point? Like, come on.
That's a great way to put it. I don't know if it's fair, but again, I blame the Lions. They made me this way. It's not my fault I'm this way. No, I'm not taking responsibility. And maybe it isn't fair, but I am who I am. It's the way I am. But
for better and for worse.
Yeah, an emphasis on for worse, no doubt. But we'll continue taking your calls, taking your texts. Who is that pick if the Lions take at number 2? You're never watching the Lions again. Who would you be okay with them taking? Who do you actually want them to take? 248-539-9797. He's Brian Fisher. I'm Jake Riepma, 97.1 The Ticket.